Okay, welcome back, everybody. I hope you all had...
Sorry, we're doing technical social media.
Oh, Karen's on the Instagram. What's the brief?
Like a second ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop filming it, I swear. Stop when you're ready.
Okay, well, welcome back for our next session. So we're kicking off this session with talking about acquisition. I know that came up as one of the pain points. We have 3 different acquisition experts talking about different elements of acquisition. We have Lawrence, who's the co-founder and managing director of the Mothership. Lucy, who is the CEO and founder and amazing young entrepreneur of TOMM Jewelry. Lucy actually came on BizKids, which is our other media channel we run when we teach children entrepreneurship, and it was through Lucy sharing her story on BizKids that I thought, hang on a second, you need to get yourself to DTC Live and tell everyone what you've done. And Joelle, who is the commercial director of ChaChing, and we're all going to be discussing. So let's have you guys introduce yourself. Lawrence, let's start with you.
Yeah.
A bit about you, who you are and what you do.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Lawrence. I am managing director and co-founder of the Mothership. We acquire and grow great consumer brands. So we have a mixture portfolio of 6 businesses that we've acquired that we run across Amazon and marketplaces like Amazon and Walmart and DTC across UK, EU, and the US.
Who follows Lawrence on LinkedIn? Who's seen his amazing social post recently talking about his acquisition successes?
Very embarrassing, Kat. It's very embarrassing.
Lucy, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucy. I'm the founder of TOMM Jewelry, which is a, well, I don't know if you can say startup anymore. I founded it 5 years ago when I was 19 from my bedroom in my mum and dad's house, which has grown pretty rapidly for us. We are a very social media driven brand, always kind of fueled by building community first. Kind of your story first is how we look at everything. But yeah.
Fantastic. And Joelle?
Cool. Yeah, Joel, nice to meet you all. Chief Commercial Officer at ChaChing. ChaChing is an out-and-out performance channel for brands and advertisers to purchase on a CPA basis. So we don't charge for clicks, we don't charge for impressions, we only charge for completed orders. And in the event of a return, we give the full CPA back to the advertiser, meaning there's no ad wastage.
Fantastic. Okay, so Lawrence, let's start with you then. So obviously, Lawrence and I had a discussion how I've become a bit down on Facebook as a channel. And Lawrence has been doing incredible work with his brand on Facebook, really demonstrating the viability and sort of continued importance of that channel. So just tell everyone about what you've done on Facebook as a key performance channel, even whilst people like me are banging on that Facebook is harder and harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a decision made of kind of pragmatism rather than anything else. I think we got distracted and felt the pain of getting super distracted by lots of conferences and lots of things telling us that we've got to try all these new things. And for me, I think the value is always in finding ways to do less but better. And I come from a performance marketing background. Facebook is very kind of native to me and how I work. And I think that the team we built at the Mothership are really good at what I would describe as kind of traditional performance channels. And so a lot of the work we did was really focusing back on what we are good at our core as a team. And that maybe is about data, attribution, analytics, and understanding the importance of what the key levers are to win on channels like Meta and Google. So we've done loads and loads of work to really improve our process and the process about how we start to actually deliver value. So, you know, we talked a little bit about one of our brands that we've really changed the metrics and the performance metrics, bringing the CPA down from about 100 quid to about 28 in about 4.5 months. And that has been purely through delivering a much simpler and more focused process on Meta.
And this is the brand Nothing Fishy.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the things you've done that have resulted in that, because that's a significant reduction in CPA.
Yeah, I think again, this is really about making really complex problems simple. I think this is the hardest thing to do, especially in consumer. There's so many things going on, and being okay to say, like, we're going to leave that fire burning over there and really focus on what we believe. So firstly, we decided that we had an acquisition problem. That in itself, we didn't have a retention problem, we didn't have like a brand problem, we had an acquisition problem, and that firstly simplified everything for the team. And the second thing we did was focus on really understanding what will drive value on that channel. And Meta For me right now, that's about creative. That's about firstly knowing your consumer, understanding who they are, why they buy. Secondly, what their pain points are, what are the reasons why they'd be looking to buy a product. And thirdly, how we can create angles and creative ideas that can communicate those pain points and our solutions to those pain points effectively. On top of that, and it's about making sure your data flows are really excellent. We did loads of work to improve our pixel and analytics, and making sure the data flows from Meta from Shopify to Meta are really good. And secondly, about making sure that the structure wasn't so complex that we didn't know how to manage it. So really simplifying everything and focusing on the core driver, which was like creative and good analytics, has massively helped us.
But you also shared with me how when you first started, the CPA went up, and this has not been, because everyone's like, oh, it's so easy to reduce CPA. You know, we do so much work on reducing CPA, and it's not, is it? It's a volatile thing.
100%. And actually, I mean, one of the things, I won't get too nerdy, but one of the things we did was when we started, we tried to crack ASC, so we tried to crack advanced shopping, and that actually was really terrible. It basically ended up just remarketing loads to existing subscribers, which we didn't need. So we stripped that back. We experimented with a few things, and again, coming back to the point, it was really about how we pointed the team at the right problem. If we have an acquisition problem, and therefore we have a Meta problem, because Meta was 80% of our acquisition mix, we needed to focus on how to make that work, and a lot of that was spent with the team, really diving into what tactics would and won't work, and we've ended up with a much more simple strategy. We have a top-of-funnel campaign, we have a testing creative campaign, and when we have a remarketing campaign on ASC, which we've really reduced the targeting on to make sure that it's only remarketing to new customers.
Amazing. I love that we just got your campaign structure. That's brilliant. Okay, so Lucy, over to you in TikTok and the TikTok shop. So just start by sharing that you were one of the first brands in the country to be onboarded by TikTok into the TikTok shop.
Yeah, so had the privilege, I always say like naivety is bliss. You don't know how good something is that's in front of you until it's kind of close to not being there anymore. And we had the lovely opportunity of joining the TikTok shop in its very early stages, which were very messy, to the point where we kind of got paid to go and sit with the head of TikTok shop, and he'd go, so what do you think we should do? And I'm like, I'm 20 years old, I don't know what you should do. But great fun anyway. But yeah, so we started back in 2 years ago with TikTok shop, I think about 2 years ago, January 2022. God, I'm losing years. So yeah, it was a really interesting journey, and kind of to wrap my head around it took a moment. But what I loved about it was like this rebellious thing. And there's a film, one of my favourite films is Joy. I don't know if anyone's watched it, about the QVC and the mop and kind of like the struggles of getting our product out there. And I love TikTok Shop because what it enables you to do, especially as a founder-led brand, is to get in front of the consumers' faces, quite literally, quite up close as well, and just project your enthusiasm, project your energy, it's passion, isn't it? And that's what I think when you can't leverage funds that we couldn't, and we're a self-funded brand, we still are today, leveraging your love and passion on TikTok has been incredible for us.
You've talked to me about how you use personality and kindness, showing your team members on TikTok and being very transparent, and that's what's driven the success. You said about you don't have large marketing budgets, you just have personalities.
Yeah, I think I'm also quite rebellious against like budgets and just like big words, I'm quite dyslexic. So I love the idea of, naivety is bliss, right? And you can walk in and say, if something's hard, something's easy. If you know it's hard, then it's like sitting here today and everyone's thinking, oh, marketing's hard, or like acquisition is really difficult and it costs so much money. But actually, if you go in with it quite an open mind, and real vulnerability is something that I've always gone for, probably to the extent where my mum's a little bit, Lucy, you sure you shouldn't be saying that on social media? And I'm like, yeah, why not? They love it, And I roll out of bed in the morning, I do a video with my bed head, which is pretty bad, may I say, and I'll, have this vulnerability with my audience, which I think in the world that we live in today is really needed, I don't think it's rare. I think fortunately it's building, but there's a lot of clean girl aesthetic. I was speaking to a few people earlier, and it's not something that you can live up to, and I certainly don't live up to it. So yeah, sharing that reality and having vulnerability to our audience through TikTok as well as with my team. People love seeing what Karen's up to today, and it's great. It's good fun for the team to be involved in as well.
And what percentage of your revenue comes from the TikTok shop now?
So we took a little bit of a pause to reanalyze things and our position with TikTok Shop in particular. I really don't want it to become our main revenue producer, but we've had experiences, for example, where we'll have like affiliate, so it's a majority of it's done through affiliate marketing on TikTok Shop, as well as self-generated sales. But we've had times where one affiliate, so one person, one creator, has generated kind of 40 grand within a month, and it's cost us 10% commission, which in the world of acquisition is pretty good going, I think.
Yeah, fantastic.
So yeah.
Brilliant. So Joelle, ChaChing, when Joelle first came into our world and told us about ChaChing, I was like, this is good, because I do get annoyed about the fact how much money has gone to Facebook from VC companies. It's something like 60% or some staggering statistic. So tell everyone what ChaChing does, and I mean, you've onboarded 6,000 brands so far.
Yeah, thanks for having us to start with. So as I said, right, ChaChing is an out-and-out performance channel. What we do is we allow the advertiser to purchase on a CPA basis. So we're a walled garden app. We've got about 3 million users at the moment pre-launch, and we're directly working with NatWest, MasterCard, BAA, and Mumsnet here in the UK. And then we've got banks like Truist Bank and MasterCard are also our big partners in the States, and we're going to go over there relatively shortly. We're also working with an array of kind of influencers like Marcus Rashford, Martin Lewis, money-saving expert as well, and Charlie D'Amelio and Mr. Beast also in the States as well. In terms of like the kind of USP of ChaChing, a user goes into the ChaChing app, they search for, let's say, a white pair of trainers, they then see, a Nike product, a Puma product, an Adidas product, and then the consumer is taken directly to the advertiser's site where they pay in full. We've got luxury brands on there like Burberry, we've got some Gucci products on there already, and one of the main things they said to me was, hey, listen, we don't want to discount any of our products. And fundamentally, ChaChing doesn't discount any products. Everything is paid in full on the client's website. So that's another key USP. Another kind of reason why a lot of brands are kind of flocking to us at the moment is you don't need a marketing budget. I know you spoke there about acquisition being difficult and not having the controlled kind of profitability on tech platforms like Facebook or Google or my former employee TikTok. Hopefully they don't go down. So it kind of gives you that control, right? You can control the profitability of a campaign, you can control the margin, and it gives you that ability to scale.
But from the consumer point of view, they get the CPA back, don't they? Or a proportion of it back?
Yeah, so 90% of the cost per acquisition goes back to the consumer.
To spend again?
To spend again on the app, or, spend on everyday purchases or whatever the consumer wants to spend it on. We retain 10% to run our business, and that money is given directly back to the consumer in real time. It takes about 30 seconds for the consumer to be paid via ChaChing.
And how do you think the consumers are adapting to this, or how do you think they will, and how will you spread the word?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a lot on kind of TV advertising and just our own marketing. Like I said, people like Marcus Rashford, Martin Lewis, and kind of other kind of TV avenues will be a key kind of launch strategy for us. But really just making the consumer aware that this money exists, right? On average, between 20 and 40% of any transaction that happens online is usually given to Google, Amazon, or Facebook. We want to make the consumer aware that this money exists and give them money back on their everyday items that they can purchase.
And that's what I loved about ChaChing, because the consumers don't know this money exists. They don't know that if they buy a pair of Nike trainers, X amount's going to Facebook or Google. And I think if that message is spread, there will be outrage.
Exactly.
Right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for our acquisition panel today. All of you are around, so make sure you speak to them in the next break. They've all got very detailed and specific expertise to share. So grab these guys, and thank you.